Hi everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Sourav Garai, who has secured a rank of rank 3 in the AIMS merit list and rank 10 in the common merit list. And it's very nice that he has firstly taken up rheumatology as a subject, because he's one of my juniors from PGI itself in the MD medicine department. Him being in the MD medicine department, and firstly taking up rheumat, especially in the INI, targeting INI where there are very few seats, and then securing this great rank. Think it was a great achievement. Firstly, Saurav, how are you feeling after this achievement?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Firstly, I'm overwhelmed as like discussing. I was working as a medicine SR here after completing my JRship in August. So I was not expecting this rank because medicine SRship here is a very hectic posting overall. So this came as a surprise to me, and I'm at this point I'm overwhelmed, and I'll deciding still what to do next.
Yeah, I know, like Romat is very, competitive in terms of the number of seats, and especially if somebody is targeting, the institutes, like something that are very very good in terms of them being not very new, etc., then it becomes even more tough, right? And also, like you being from PGI, the JR ship is extremely hectic, and you joined SR ship as well, like you didn't take a proper break. Firstly, how did you decide on rheumatology as your target branch for entering super specialty?
It's like, sir, when I joined as a medicine resident only, 6 months, by 6 months, I was very sure that most likely I want to continue medicine as my primary subject. But at this point, this is not an option. Everyone kinda have to do some sort of DM. So, and then I was close to the rheumatology department because here we are intensively posted in rheumatology departments and other departments also. And I realized that rheumat is probably the subject that is closest to medicine. So yeah, the first love is still medicine only, and I have to pursue a DM probably. That is why I considered rheumat, and then I started studying. And I read Kelly myself, and then I realized I like the subject. So second sem, third sem onwards, I made my own notes and I started with rheumat.
Great. And of course, we've been chatting, but for the viewers, let's just come back a little bit. Please introduce yourself, like where you're from and how your academic journey has been.
Um, I'm Saurav. I'm Saurav Garai. I'm from Kolkata. I finished my MBBS from AIMS Bhubaneswar, and I finished my MD Medicine from PJM Chandigarh only, and in this August 2025. This was my first attempt, and uh,
Great. Like again, like we go back to the JR ship being very hectic, this being your proper first attempt, because your MD finished just in August because of the COVID time joining, etc.
yes,
In this particular context, how did you plan your preparation? Like you essentially had only about maybe three to 3.5 months post your
yes.
MD. In that particular time span, how did you face that time frame and plan your prep?
Yes, sir. So during our residency time, we did not have much time to sit back and study in PGI. We had to learn by passive learning only mostly. So meanwhile, I what I tried to do is I decided I will take up rheumat and I talked with my seniors. I have the seniors in all these good institutes, multiple seniors. They are all very helpful. So they all told me one thing clearly that I need to read Kelly. So I read Kelly from third sem only, and I made my own notes, and then I started revising them as much as I could till the MD finals exam. After MD finals, I had some obligations and I also had this love for medicine. So I decided I will join as a medicine senior resident here. I thought the duty will be not that high, so I'll be able to prepare properly. But the duty turned out to be very hectic. So my primary plan, I could not follow it properly. And till MD finals, I did not take up any coaching institute. But then I got to know the details of DocTutorials, and then all my seniors, Bhargavi ma'am and all, they all suggested to take up DocTutorials, and I took DocTutorials question bank part and test series. And I started taking the question bank and test series. Parallelly, I started revising as much as I could. I could hardly get 1 or 2 hours, some days 3 4 hours, and the weekends to study, because otherwise it was there not much time allowed. So I tried to practice some amount of MCQ every day to find out the lacunas in my own notes, and then to build up on it. And I tried to give grant test a little more frequently, so that because I got to know that the docti GTs and question banks, they're primarily based on you are focused on past year's questions only. So I tried to revise them that so that same mistakes are not repeated and important areas are covered. That is how I planned. I could not plan it exactly the way I thought I will do, because the duty was not what I expected. But yeah, the notes and the question bank and test series, yeah, those are really helpful.
Yeah, I think you did your, your basic core preparation happened through your MD itself,
Yes, sir.
through
Yes, sir.
your
That
MD,
is why.
work,
Yes, sir.
passive learning, plus the extra little bit effort that you put in your Kelly's, and you made your own notes from the Kelly's textbook itself, which is, great, because obviously the exam has, especially in the last two sessions, has shifted a little bit more towards that Kelly focus. So
Yes.
you did great
And
prep in your MD, and even it's commendable that in the PGI MD, in AIMS, I know that they get a lot of time, but doing it through the PGI MD residency, it was, really commendable. And there's another question, like even you would have faced, especially in this particular session, and upcoming students will also face, especially those giving the November session, that these NEET tests INI SS overlap. This is,
yes,
something
sir.
that confuses, especially in terms of planning for the exam. If it was a NEET PG or if it was an INI seat, it was a different thing, because the pattern is same.
Yes,
You essentially have to, have same weightages more or less. But here there are two
yes,
different patterns. So how did you think about it? Especially this time there was to and fro what exam is coming first. So how did that
yes,
go?
sir. Yes. Yes, sir. So ideally, the preparation should differ a lot, but then uh, I personally did not have that much time. So what I used to do is I used to reserve 2 days, the weekend especially, for medicine part, because otherwise I'll forget the medicine. And in NEET, what I have seen, they're asking medicine in great details. There is no actual limit of what they can ask and what they cannot. So I used to reserve last 2 days of week for medicine, and rest of the 5 days I used to study rheumat as much as possible, because rheumat is something that I had made a base during my MD course. And so I was a little more confident. I had to read Hodgberg during these last 3 months, because I got to know that they're asking from Hodgberg also. So I could not read the complete Hodgberg thing. I just picked up the important tables, what I felt is important, where the questions are coming in question banks and GTs. And for medicine part, uh, again, me and my friend, we made our own notes for all the subjects more or less. So we had our basic notes for this all these subjects. And what we're doing is like we are taking the grant test, obviously, the NEET GT that is happening in the platform for last 2 3 months, and revising it properly. Like taking the test for 2.5 hours, but revising it for 5 hours or 6 hours, ensuring that whichever mistakes we have done should not be missed out again and again. And that actually opened our eyes that how so many questions are being asked from the Harrison tables and Harrison flowcharts, and that is something that we have read, we have understood maybe, but we just skipped it has slipped out of our mind. That is how I tried to balance it. After the results, the last 2 3 days, obviously I could not study anything, but I try to zone in again and give some finishing touch as much as possible.
Great. Like, yeah, obviously Harrison tables and flowcharts, especially for NEET is very important, and we have a separate section of videos as well for just Harrison's and tables and flowcharts. And also coming back to our INI, like obviously it's visible from your ranks that you did an amazing job in the interview part, because you had a very nice jump from your CML to AML. And like, how did you strategize that? What, how the interview was, and how your preparation, did you do something special?
Sir, historically, I'm bad in interviews. Actually, I had lost my KVPY during interviews, and also in my vivas, I don't feel that confident usually. So this time, I thought I was not expecting a rank in the top 10 in the initial list. So I thought I will give it my everything. But meanwhile, the true story is that I had a MBBS like friends group trip planned during that time only. So they were coming from far. I had this plan, so I decided whatever I've studied, I will just keep that much in mind. I asked my seniors; they were also telling the basic questions are only asked. You need to keep your calm. You will only do good. Our HOD was there in interview, and sir asked basic medicine questions that we practice every day. There is nothing more to study for interview as such. It's better to keep your calm and do the thing. So I was in Himachal for last 7th and 8th. I came back at 8th night and I appeared in the interview on 9th morning. That's it. I did not prepare anything separately because I thought that will be the best preparation. We have already studied enough for this theory part. So whatever theory question they are asking, that it is better answered in a calm mind than studying a lot of things. Yeah, I read about those scores and all, but surprisingly this time none of those scores were asked in the interview. This time interview questions were more of practical oriented approach only, practical approach oriented only. So no strategy as such. I think keeping your calm is the best idea. I had to give my best shot here because I was not expecting an interview seat this time. So that's it, sir. No particular strategy as such.
Great. I think maybe, the off you took and the pressure, it, just went away, and maybe you gave it your best. So, and also I think, like, listening to you, your core medicine, core rheumatology was very good while you were studying through all these years, right? And yeah, so again, like a little bit of a guidance for juniors, because juniors are, especially in MD medicine, when you, as you said, right, everybody wants to continue medicine, in some, most of the students, because that's the reason why they've taken medicine in the first place, the love for medicine. So through medicine, or at the end of MD, what advice or small guidance you would give to your juniors who would come?
Uh, Sir, this is something that what I have realized over these few years is I like after making my own notes and now appearing for the NEET exams is like Harrison is indispensable. Like there are multiple coaching platforms, they are all trying to help us definitely, but I still feel that you have to stick to Harrison. Like still as of now, what they're asking is there are so many things in Harrison when what we still don't study, we are not studying, and we are skipping this because of duty hours and all. Everything is there in Harrison. We need to respect Harrison a little more. We need to spend more times in Harrison during our MD times. Parallelly, MD is an endless subject. So whatever new guidelines are coming, it's not very difficult to find them out at this point. Most of the institutes have this open subscription to all the journals. So make your best based on Harrison only, and then add something from the relevant journals, relevant articles, relevant guidelines that are coming up. And the subject you're planning to prepare for DM, that for that particular subject, for most of the streams that I have asked understood from other friends also, for that particular subject you need to read the DM book, the whatever is there. As I personally prepared from my own notes, so I would still focus, I'll still emphasize on the fact that making your own notes will give you a confidence that is probably will be difficult to gather from reading someone else's note. But again, like we did not have much time to study in our MD residency time, so maybe the strategy can differ from other people. But that is what I feel. You need to read Harrison more and more, and then again guidelines. Yeah.
Yeah, like a small story from my side. When it was my time, I had very less time between the NEET SS and the INSS, and I'd cleared NEET SS like with a decentish rank. I'd got DM Rheumat there, and I was not feeling like reading. So whatever I had read for my NEET SS, which was Harrison's Rheumat part, I had read very well, because I was giving the mid-year INI as well. So only Rheumat Harrison from the Harrison's part. That's it. I did not have the time to touch Kelly's. And obviously I went in with kind of a suboptimal preparation, because in today's exam you have to read Kelly's into some extent,
Exactly,
at
sir.
least the main topics. But yeah, but
Yes,
at my time I just went in with a very thorough Harrison prep plus Q banks and GTs, whatever were there, right? So
yes, sir.
that was what I had done,
Yes,
and you kind of encapsulated it with supplementation of Kelly's, especially the main topics, RASLE, etc. That
yes,
is
sir.
what let's
Yes, sir.
encapsulate our
Harrison's rheumat.
conversation.
Yes, Harrison's rheumat is actually excellent, but what I
Yeah,
realized
it's
in
very.
this exam, because of this duty and all, I could not focus properly. I was not at the best piece of my mind. I made a good number of silly mistakes actually that has compromised my theory marks. I understand now, but I survived because of reading this Kelly only, because I answered difficult questions well. I
Hmm.
missed out on silly mistakes. So yeah, at this point you have to read Kelly, but then Harrison's rheumat is excellent. You need to read that at least. Then you have to build your further base. Yeah.
Sure. And vote of thanks from your side to everybody who helped you through your academic journey.
Yes, sir. My parents, they are not doctors, but they have been there throughout, through thick and thin. My best friend, she has been there throughout my journey. We have studied together for last 3 years. And my batch, as most of us in our July 2022 PGI batch, all of them have most of them whoever appeared in the exams, all of them have done excellent. They were a motivation constantly. And my teachers here in PGI, they have been a constant motivation. And I would also like to thank Doctor definitely, because they definitely fine-tuned my journey in the last 3 months. The question banks were really helpful to find out the lacuna in my preparation, and the GTs were the most accurate GTs available at this point. So that definitely helped a lot. So,
Thank you so much. Yeah, as you were telling, I think this time usually the AIMS batches do very well, but this time your PGI batch and I think one or two batch around, like the PGI students have, come out with flying colors. It was so nice to see that.
yes, sir.
So very nice talking to you, Saurav. I will keep
Thank you, sir.
meeting in various,
Sure,
conferences, etc. Welcome to rheumatology,
sure, sure,
and so nice
sure, sir.
talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.